everybody, Crafting Journey here, that journey chick on Instagram. Don't forget to hit the like button today. He made me some coffee this morning and it's delicious. So hit the like button on your way in or out of the program today. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of Crafting and Crime. Now, not sure if I'm going to do a Saturday episode this week because we're all caught up on the trial. In fact, there was only one witness yesterday. The entire day, one witness. This has been a very slow trial. But I just want to take 1 second to say that this has been a very difficult week for me for several reasons, and I just want to say thank you for watching the show, supporting the channel, and I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. Love you all. Yes. No kidding. Anyway, but it's the weekend, and Sunday I get to pick up my granddaughter, and because it's spring break next week, her family is not going out of town, so I get to spend some time with my granddaughter because the week after that, well, the 28th, I'm having the knee surgery. I have to have a total knee replacement on the other knee. So the right knee, I had a partial replacement 2 years ago. So the left knee now is like totally destroyed. So total knee replacement there. Anyway. So I'm going to be out of commission. I'll still be here. I'll just have like my, I'll have my knee propped up or whatever, I'll be here. You're not going to miss anything. Trust me. I love covering these trials for you. There's a really interesting trial going on in federal court, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah. So how are you doing, like button? Oh, thank you. Giving me kisses. Okay. Go back to what you were doing. Anyway, I did work on this painting last night. Guys, I'm getting there. It's slow. But like I said, it's been a difficult week. So I worked till about 8:30 or so on the painting. And then I went in my room and played my game, Ark Survival Evolved on Xbox. I am having so much fun playing this. It just takes me to another place. That's probably one of the things I'm going to do this weekend is work on my streaming, see if I can get Xbox to stream for you so I can show you a little bit of what this game is and what I'm doing there. It'd be kind of fun to just show you. So I'll work on that. I've got a new piece of equipment I need to incorporate into the mix and see if I can get it all to work. The Animal Crossing was a total bust, but I think if I hook up this new piece of equipment, I might be able to do the Animal Crossing as well, too. But the Animal Crossing streamers out there, they're a dime a dozen, and there's some really good ones out there. But, mine would just be from my perspective of, a newbie, and here's, me learning the game. As is everything I do on my channel. I've learned to crochet on this channel. I've learned to loom knit on this channel. Well, I already knew how to diamond paint when I started the channel. But you guys as subscribers have helped me learn all these crafts. And you could help me learn some of these games too, like Animal Crossing. I know you have dozens and dozens of tips on Animal Crossing. So let's get out our planner. Let's get out the plate. Oh, I had to show you this cup, this coffee cup. So this is a Game of Thrones cup. And when it's hot, my grandson bought this for me. When it's hot, it turns white. Winter is coming. Remember Game of Thrones? Oh my God. I loved that show. And it really stuck to the books. I read all the books as well. And it really followed the books very closely. So I'm anxious to see the next part, the prequel that comes out. George R.R. Martin wrote a prequel, which is like the Narrate family before, the Targaryens and everything before Game of Thrones. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Planner time. Okay. Here we are. So last night we got, I need a pen. Like an inch of snow. But yesterday was just bone-chilling cold. I mean, So cold. I think it was in the 20s, but the wind chill, I mean, like, it was below zero. It was bone chilling. I know, Lisa, AK Rose, I know. You're in Alaska, and it's way worse. I know. And I will come visit you, but in the better months. So, did I tell you I did tell you I ordered 2 new Diamond Art Clubs. Can't wait to get those and unbox them for you. All right, it's Friday. Now, I think I wrote down here a few weeks ago, last snow. Should I jinx myself and write that again? No, I'm not going to do that. But I will say that it snowed. Snow, 1 inch. I let Tootsie out this morning, and Stitch went out too in the snow. And I left them out there for, not long, 5-10 minutes while I went and got my cup of coffee. And I hear the banging on the door. Tootsie actually bangs on the door, knocks on the door when she wants in. And they're both standing there. Stitch is like, I've had enough. It's cold. They both came in. Yeah. Stitch loves it outside. And all of a sudden, like Pearl used to run out the door, and now she doesn't want to go out anymore. I don't know what happened to her when she was outside. Something spooked her, but she's decided she's an indoor cat. She explored the outdoors, but now she wants to be an indoor cat. Where are they? I don't know where they're at. They're adults now. Stitch is officially a year old. I think this next week, Stitch will be a 1-year-old. Next month, Pearl will be a year old. They came from different litters. Same house, different litters. In this day in history, we're going to talk about bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Cops, yes. Oh my God. Guys, it's Friday. I just realized that. Woohoo! Payday! Okay. Yes, it's payday. And that was my boss. She's like, the roads are perfectly clear. You can go to work. I was trying to milk another remote day, but she's like, nope, the main roads are clear. I just have to get out of this neighborhood when the snow. But it's not icy or anything like that. Maybe on the way home, but it's fine. I've already been out taking the trash out and everything, and it's fine. But I gave it the good old college try. Hey, can I work remotely today? She wasn't buying it. Yeah, she does not like when I work remotely. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is. Whatever. I don't know. Yes. So I was talking about Bad Boys. Yes, the anniversary of Cops. That show. Remember the show Cops? How could you forget it? It was on for 21 years. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about this day in history. Yep. Let's talk about crafting and crime daily. So the trial continues. Day 11 or 12, I've lost count of this trial. One witness yesterday, now this was an expert witness who had already given his direct testimony. I went over it a little bit earlier in the week, or even last week. I don't remember when it was. So let me just start from the beginning. This is the case of Dr. William Husel. He's on trial for the murder of 14 of his patients, who were already on death's door. We've established that. But they were given these huge doses of narcotics, like many, many times more than was necessary. And they died within minutes of receiving these dosages. And so the families all have wrongful death suits against the hospital. We've established that there were failures of the pharmacy, failures of the nurses, failures of administration. There were people laid off in administration, in pharmacy, in nursing, and now, and we know that the corporation that owns the hospital, Mount Carmel in Ohio, Grove City, Ohio, had put a plan into place to focus the blame on Dr. Husel. Now, Does this amount to murder? I don't know. As a juror, I'm thinking, there were so many failures here. How do we blame this man? Yes, he ordered these ridiculous amounts of drugs, but the nurses administered them. The pharmacy let it go. They didn't even bother to question it. And nobody brought it to the attention of administration. And even when they did, they let it continue. So, can we really convict Dr. Husel? I don't know. That's a question for the jury, and I'm so curious to see how this turns out. So this is an expert. He's a doctor from Vanderbilt University. He said, this is the first time I have ever been an expert witness, but I felt pretty strongly about this case. He's already said during his direct testimony that this was enough drugs to kill an elephant. An elephant. Yes. And that it was totally unnecessary, that these people died not as a result of their disease processes. They died because of this ridiculous amount of drugs that they received. Now, what you're supposed to do, they were all going through palliative extubations. All these 14 people, and it started out as 25, and the prosecutor decided they were only going to go for 14. They even offered this doctor a deal at the beginning to plead guilty to 10, and he said no. They offered him a deal. If he pled guilty, he would receive a sentence of up to 3 years for each count. So he was looking at a possibility of 30 years for pleading guilty for 10 counts of murder. And he said, no, I'm innocent. I want a trial. I think that was a good move. I think that my gut feeling says this is going to be a hung jury. I don't think they're going to be able to reach a decision here. This is a tough one. It's a really tough one. So we have the expert on cross-examination, and it was not Jose Baez, thankfully, because we'd still be here. It was his assistant, who's an Ohio attorney. And she was, like I said before, she's crackerjack. She's really, really good. And just very organized, very methodical. She had all of her exhibits ready. And she just walked this doctor through each and every case. And what she pointed out was that in each and every case, the family consented to palliative withdrawal, which means they were all intubated and on a ventilator. The family agreed to comfort care, to taking them off the ventilator, pulling the plug, so to speak, and letting them die a natural death. Now, ideally, when you do this, you give the person enough medication just to make them comfortable, because it can be a little uncomfortable taking the tube out. It's not usually, but it can be. And what also was pointed out was that these people had days and days of documentation that they had zero pain. The Dr. Husel and some other doctors were telling the families they're brain dead, continuing life support is futile. And as this expert pointed out, if you're brain dead, you're not feeling any pain. Your brain doesn't acknowledge pain. You're not feeling pain. So these high doses of medication are totally unnecessary. So, this defense attorney got the expert to agree that if a family says yes, if they agree to an extubation and end of life comfort care, and they change the status of the patient to do not resuscitate comfort care only, that once the family makes that decision, you have to go with that decision. You can't say, oh no, we're not going to do that. You have to. So she walked him through each and every one of these 14 patients and pointed had him agree that each of the families was there at the bedside, made the decision. If they weren't at the bedside, they were there very shortly thereafter. They made the decision. Some were friends and family, some had power of attorneys, but they all made the decision to withdraw life support from their loved ones and have them die a natural death. Now, I know each and every one of these families also filed a wrongful death suit because they did not agree that you could give these exorbitant amounts of medications and have their loved ones pass away. We're talking, they cut off days that these people could have had with their loved ones. And that doesn't sound like a lot unless you're going through it. Who wouldn't? I would give anything to have a few more days with my dad. Just a few more days. So it is important to the families. You're saying, oh, they were on death's door. Yes, they were. But we're talking about time that was stolen from those families because of these large doses of medications. And the other thing that this expert pointed out that I thought was interesting was this, first of all, was this 0 to 10 pain pattern that, the documentation on all of these patients was that they were in 0 pain, but all of a sudden when you're going to give this exorbitant amount of medication, the nurses were documenting that they were a 10. The score was a 10. And then we know that they testified that they were anticipating it would be a 10. You're not supposed to put a score in that you're anticipating. You're supposed to put the score in of what the patient is going through at the time you administer the medication, which probably would have been a 0. So he pointed that out. And he also said that was a very consistent pattern of someone doing something that we don't do in medicine. We just don't do it. There's no literature. There's nothing to support what this doctor did. Nothing that says this is how you do this palliative extubation, that you give this large amount of drugs. And so he felt very strongly about it. Now, he had charged $10,000 for his service. He charges $500 an hour. So the defense, she wheeled in this wheelbarrow, not a wheelbarrow, but, a cart with all these 25 charts, because he was originally asked to look at all 25 cases. And so she was going to divide the 20 hours by 25. He's like, you can't do it that way. It doesn't work that way. He says, I decided when I got to 10,000, I wasn't going to bill anymore. He says, I put way more time into this, but he says, I felt so strongly about what was going on in this case that I just stopped at 10,000. He says, I spent way more time, but I didn't feel right billing for all of it. She goes, well, you don't work for free, do you? He's like, no, I don't work for free, but I just didn't feel right charging more than the 10,000. And I felt really strongly about this case, that this was consistently something that we don't do in medicine, and there should be consequences. So he agreed to testify, and he never testified before. And Vanderbilt is a very, very respected institution, and to work for Vanderbilt is that's pretty impressive. And so then we have redirect. So where, the prosecution gets up and they ask more questions. And so this goes on all day long, sidebar, talk to your neighbors, get to know, it's just a free for all when this judge has his sidebars. The ding in the ears, because now they won't let me listen to all the noise that's going on in the courtroom. Now they have to put this noise. I didn't even have it on the sound machine. Do I have it on the sound machine? No, I don't. So, but it's annoying. Anyway, so listen to that. But so at this point, I don't know who's left to call. I don't know if the prosecution's got more experts. I have no idea. I don't know if they're going to call a nursing expert, pharmacy expert. I don't know what's going to happen now, or if they're going to rest their case. I have no idea if this doctor's going to take the stand in his own defense. I would think that he really needs to. He needs to explain, what, where is the support? Where did you learn this? Where is the medical literature to back up what you're doing here? Where where did you get this idea that these people needed this ridiculous amounts of medication? Where did this come from? Did someone in your past teach you this? Did you have an attending that said this was okay? What? Tell us. Is this just something you came up with by yourself? I don't know. Or he may not say anything because, like I said, I think at this point we're leaning towards a hung jury. So we'll see what happens today. And Crafting and Crime Daily. Now there's some interesting stuff going on in federal court. Jesse Smollett, the actor who faked his own attack somebody. He hired some friends to attack him, and so it was all hoax. He went to trial. He was convicted. He was after a long sentencing hearing, he was convicted and sentenced to 150 days in jail, 5 months, and I don't know if he already has time served. So not especially a strong sentence, but I think he was facing up to 3 years on each count. I think there was 5 counts, so he got 5 months in jail. Another thing that's going on is there was a couple of people in Connecticut, these 2 young women who both passed away on the same day under very mysterious circumstances. The people that were closest to them, loved ones, were never notified of their deaths. The one woman died. There was a man with her when she died. He calls 911. The police come. The coroner comes. They take her to the morgue, and no one ever notifies the family. The family thinks she's missing. They're like, hey, where is she? And they go over to look for her. And there's a note on the door. This is one of the 2 women. They go to look for their loved one. There's a note on the door saying, if you're looking for so-and-so, come see the landlord. So they go to the landlord, and the landlord says, oh, she passed away. And they're like, what? My daughter passed away? What do you mean my daughter passed away? So, and this happened the same day with another family where the police did not notify the families. So there's been some legislation in Connecticut to institute that the police and mandate that they notify the next of kin, the family, when someone dies. I can't even imagine that you would have to tell somebody that you would have to legislate that. Wouldn't that be common sense? Hey, someone's dead. Let's notify the next of kin. No, we're just going to take them to the morgue and put them in the freezer. Yeah, that's crazy. So that is what's happening in law and crime and crafting and crime. So crafting, I got to get some crafting done. I need to work on my crochet along, my temperature along. I'm going to try to get caught up on those this weekend. Finish this painting. Yes, I have a lot of stuff. Pick up Malia. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait to see her. She apparently is now doing kickboxing. So I get to take her Monday night to her kickboxing lesson. I'm going to take some photos. Yeah. So she's not going to know it, but I'm going to get some photos so you guys can see my granddaughter kickboxing. She'll never know I put it up on the channel. So let's talk about this day in history. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, come to do when they come for you. Yeah. Cops debuted 21 years ago, 1989. This day in history, 1989. And it was just like the 2 people that came up with this concept, they pitched it to the network, and at the time there was a writer's strike. So, and this was unscripted. So they're like, hey, they snatched it up. They're like, yeah. So they started out in Broward County, where I lived. Broward County, Florida. I was living in Hollywood, Florida in 1989. My son was 9 years old. My daughter was 4. I remember exactly where we were. And bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I love that song. So they followed the cops around, and they just, you know, filmed whatever was happening, and it was just funny, you know, drunk naked people, and you know, it was very funny. uh, it was a good show. It really was a very, very interesting show, and it went on for 21 seasons, and they featured other law enforcement agencies. Yeah, but I liked that show. Yep. Bad boys, what you gonna do? You know what other show I like and I started watching last night? The 42nd season, 42 seasons of Survivor. Oh, I need to get that in here too. So, yeah. No, that's not the right sound effect for that. But, so I started watching it last night, and then I fell asleep in the middle of it. I was tired. Yeah, so I'll have to rewatch it. But it's probably one of my favorite shows ever. Yeah, I probably is the most, like, when I found out the season had started, I was like, oh, what? And now my sister bought Paramount Plus, so I can watch it on Roku in my bedroom. I love watching TV in bed. In fact, last night I'm in here diamond painting 8:30. You know, dot 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 dot, and Tootsie comes in and she's like, bedtime, Mom, bedtime. And so I'm like, okay, in a minute, because I was talking to my friend over in the UK. So she just looks at me like, oh, you're not going to come to bed with me? And she turns around and farts and walks out of the room. Oh my God. It was so bad. I was like, oh, and my friend, she's laughing. She's dying. Because she's got a bunch of Rottweilers. She knows exactly what. But I thought, that was like a revenge fart there. And so I packed, I said goodbye to my friend, and I packed up my drills, and I go in, and Tootsie's in bed. She's like, I went to bed without you, Mom. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that is the show for today. I will try to do a Saturday edition tomorrow, just because, I love bringing you the show, and I want to keep you up to date on what's going on in the trial. Or maybe not. We'll see. I have a Yum box from France. Maybe I'll open it on the show tomorrow. So anyway, take care, everybody. Love you. Bye.